Hi everyone, my name is Kaylin and I started this channel kind of as a frugal living one, but I've decided to go in a different direction with it because I have another channel called The Funky Thrifter where I include content like that, so if you want that, feel free to go there. I wanted to make a video talking about overthinking, and I have been a chronic overthinker for like my whole life. And I have found certain techniques over the years that have helped me to break out of the cycle of it. And I can still kind of naturally fall into it if I'm not careful, but I think it's like one of those things where the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes, and you can snap yourself out of it quicker the more times you do it, and recognize and identify that you're doing it to put a stop to it. I basically think that you have to interrupt yourself when you're doing it, and it's kind of like, I really think your thoughts kind of create your feelings. So if you're focusing on something that's very negative and repetitive, it makes you feel like a yucky feeling, like in your whole being. And I think that if you manage to redirect your thoughts to something positive, even if it's something frivolous, it can just start to create a different mood. And I think that some of the best ways to break out of overthinking are to do things with your body that are like physical and get out of your mind. Because I feel like it's like overusing your brain, and if you can just take the focus off that and put it into your body instead, it releases a lot of the tension. And I feel like overthinking can stress out your entire body and it feels like you're holding all this tension in, but if you just do something silly, it just kind of snaps you out of it. So one of the things that I have always found to be really helpful if I'm overthinking is to put on really good music, because like for me anyway, I find that it is impossible to feel sad when you're listening to Jimi Hendrix, and I'm sure that everybody has a band or a type of music like that where just turning it on, it's like an instant mood booster. And I just think that it is inspiring. It's like it gives you a positive sound rather than the negative sound of your own thoughts. And yeah, I just think that it has the power to really kind of shift your mood. And I will always try to match how I want to feel to like the music that I am listening to. So if I need energy, I'll listen to something energetic. If I need peace and to calm down and feel less anxious, I'll listen to something calm like jazz or something like Nick Drake. And I just think that it is really easy to change your environment and your way of thinking by just changing what you're listening to. And yeah, for me, that's a really big one. Another one that I find really helpful is doing something physical. And I have thought of myself as being really resistant to exercise in the past. And there's been times I've been in a very deep depression and I haven't felt able to do exercise. But even if it's something like going for a quick walk outside or going for a swim and starting slow with just sitting in the pool and then seeing where it leads, I think that it's hard to overthink as much when you're moving your body, and it's easier to get into a positive mindset, and I find fresh air really helps me. And over the years, there's been times I've gone to like counselling and things like that, or even like classes on managing mental health, and I have been like actually insulted at the time whenever I have been told things like have a warm bath to make yourself feel better. And I think that there is an oversimplification of like treating mental health issues, and it can be hard to take advice sometimes from people that you know have never experienced it themselves. But like I have so much, and I just want to share with people like what has helped me personally. And I know that managing your mental health is a constant thing. It's something you have to kind of work at every day, and you will find things that prove helpful to you, and sometimes you might feel a bit lost and forget about them, but coming back to them really helps you to stay grounded and to kind of rise above the depression and the overthinking and just making yourself anxious. So yeah, like I think those are really important things. And I also have found writing to be very healing in that way, because I feel like physically writing, like getting a notebook and a pen and writing out your feelings, it just releases so much from you, and it's like dumping your thoughts on a page, so then you can move past the overthinking because you've overthought everything, and it's like in this kind of physical form in front of you now, and it's like you can kind of disengage from it and be like, bye-bye now, I can think about something else. And I know that it sounds really cheesy kind of, but I find writing gratitude lists helpful because even though it sounds like a really superficial kind of thing to do and really cheesy and corny, it's like writing things that you're grateful for in your life, it makes you realize like just how much you can come up with. And even if you feel like you're having a tough time, you can focus on the tiniest little things, and just making the like intentional kind of decision to perform the act of like dreaming up things to be happy about, it naturally makes you feel happier doing it. And afterwards I always feel like I've like basically risen above whatever mood I was in before, and it helps to redirect my thinking into another area. And that's kind of like the main thing that I think has helped me over the years, is like redirecting more than anything else, because you might find yourself slipping back into negative thinking, and it's easy to get into negative thinking patterns, especially when that's familiar to you and you just slide into it without even thinking about it. But if you keep redirecting, it's like you're creating a new pathway that you can then choose as an option instead of that each time. And there are times now when I can slip into overthinking in the way that I did in the past, but I can kind of also recognize that as destructive for me. And I'm going to try and choose to think about something else instead, because that's just going to do damage. Whereas if I force myself to think about something silly or funny, or like something that I have to look forward to or be grateful for, it can send me on a different thinking route. And yeah, I just think that that has been helpful to me over the years, and I don't want to seem like I'm providing a simple solution for what feels like a complicated problem, because so many people have done that to me over the years, and I know that it can feel like no one's validating your feelings, but I just want to help people if I can who have been through the same sorts of things. And I know that overthinking can be this kind of dangerous cycle, and you can feel like you've lost all control of your thoughts and they're running you. But redirecting kind of gives you the ability to take charge of your thoughts again and just keep bringing yourself back to a different point in your mind. So, and also just, I like to remind myself that like, of the point that overthinking has never brought me anything good. And maybe you can kind of recognize that too if you're a chronic overthinker. Has overthinking ever brought anything good into your life, or has it just made you miserable? And I think kind of letting that settle in and realizing like you've spent so much time in your life overthinking, but has it actually solved anything? Has it brought you any joy? Like, and do you want to spend your time doing that if it's not actually productive at all? So I hope that this video was helpful to somebody. Thanks for joining me if you're here, and yeah, I hope to make lots more content about things to do with mental health, kind of finding joy in life, and like maybe spirituality a bit, and just things that I find make life better in general. So yeah, I will see you soon. Bye.